and steps that you need to take, and I don't know what their prior knowledge is coming in from preschool. I know our preschool has started to really start using the iPads a lot more, so maybe I won't after these next few years. But I do a lot of direct instruction with this. I did not do any instruction on ChatterPix when they got that. I did not do any with Tastic. We did it as a center just to show them what it was, but we didn't create one. I just showed them, hey, there's characters, because I used it as a way to introduce story elements. But I didn't show them how to manipulate the iPad. Actually, I just showed them, hey, this is a story creation, story elements. Tellagami, I did not.
They don't know if you got it.
You have to take pictures and you're going to add information. I'm a verification person, and I put things down like that. And to sit there and take all these pictures after you move the one of the answer across each of the things, you have to take a series of pictures. I did. These are things that you go to next week. Yeah. These are awesome. I think I bring mine personally.
Do your bats one? Do your bats one? Then we can publish it.
So we have 5 that our PTO actually purchased one for us, and then our district purchased 4 because our employees did end up going 1-to-1. So the give us certain resources to work there. So I have 6 when I graduated.
All right, you're going to say some of your favorite bats?
Yep, we do have a checkout lab that I'm not quite sure when it's available because I just like to have control of my space. So I build my.
What do bats do? What do bats do? Then in places they stay home. They have lots of.
That works, right? See how it looks?
Yeah, we were waiting for it too, so I'm going to bring it back.
What do bats do? What do bats do in the fall? Many bats fly in caves. They sleep there until spring. Other bats fly to new places. They come home in the spring. Bats that live in some places, they stay home. They have lots of.
Nice work.
Oh, absolutely. Create one as a group, and then as pairs, if I need it.
And then how would you go back and delete as
Can you show how to delete one if you didn't like
show you it on there, but I could probably tell you it's even better, but I just have them do one writing page because right now we to get one word written. Yes. Or but even if you're doing one right now would be fine with this. I only have them do one, but eventually they will do a book.
Yeah, I deleted that photo because he was upside down. And I don't want him upside down.
Right, but when you come into the app, what would it show?
You could just type and do it.
Oh, so it just saves where you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now I'm going to pretend I was another student and I wanted to come up here and start my own. How would I clear all this out of yours without erasing?
That's when it would show up.
Everybody do your bell
This one says sharks has a lot of facts about sharks. My favorite fact is a cookie cutter shark lands on its prey, then makes a cookie cutter.
I'm sure there are a number of options.
This one
Like I said, without looking at
a good book for people who like sharks. If you want to learn more facts about sharks, this is a good book for you.
on the iPad. I know. Yeah.
Then it
Right.
looks low and
Right.
then
I haven't noticed that change. And that's a little bit frustrating thing about the test.
cookie cutter shark lands on its prey, then
Right. Right.
a cookie cutter lands on its prey.
You cannot like.
First, I would like to introduce 5 of our guests that we have with us today who are actually going to be doing a lot of the teaching in a little bit. So you guys want to stand up and you can tell these teachers what your name is and what grade you are in.
My name is Grant and I'm in 2nd grade.
My name is Derek and I'm in 2nd grade.
My name is Carson and I'm in 2nd grade.
My name is Emma and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is Kayla and I'm in 3rd grade.
So we took several of these kiddos with us this summer to iPad U at Grantwood AEA. So this is some of their second time teaching teachers about the apps that they love in the classroom. So we would like to really welcome them today. You guys can go ahead if you want to just sit for a little bit like we did last time, that'd be great. I can go ahead and start. I'm Andrea Townsley. I am an instructional coach and a PD leader at Benton Community Schools.
My name is Anna Yupa and I teach 1st grade for Benton Community Schools.
Kim Fisher and kindergarten.
So if you guys want to go ahead and join in on our conversation, you can use the hashtag for today. And then our school, Keystone Elementary, has a hashtag KeyRocks, where we like to share all the awesome stuff that our kids do every day. So feel free to tag anything from today with KeyRocks as well.
So the way we kind of have this session set up is for us to give you a brief overview of the apps that you'll have the opportunity to learn more about from these great kids in a little bit. But first we're just going to talk about some of the apps that we use, ideas for how we use them, and then let you find the app that you're interested in and learn a ton from these kids we brought today. The first thing we wanted to talk about is the Seymour model. One thing that we're trying to move towards when we use iPads in the classroom is away from the substitution level, away from, the sight word practice flashcard app and the math practice flashcard app. Those are important and there's a time and place. However, the iPad can do so many extraordinary things in the hands of a child that that's not our only focus anymore. We're trying to move into those levels of augmentation and modification, and we're even going to talk about some apps that are in that redefinition level today. However, like I said, when we talk about moving towards those higher levels of modification and redefinition, we still understand that there's a time and place for the substitution and the augmentation apps.
The first app that we want to talk about, we'll actually have the opportunity to learn about this one with Grant. Is that right? Are you ChatterPix? All right, so Grant's going to show us in a while how to use ChatterPix, but just a little bit of information. It's a free app. What I really like about ChatterPix is you can animate a photo in just a quick 30-second recording, and it just makes something that a summarization of a book or just a message that a student wants to get out, and you can animate it and it's very quick and easy to use. So I have just a couple of examples. This first one was studying dinosaur facts, and then they picked their favorite couple, and then they, let's see, we don't have a speaker, so I will make sure I have this turned all the way up. Sassy 5-year-old at the end. That's mine, so I can say that. And then here was another trailer for a book. So we will share this presentation, so if you'd like to hear those more clearly, you can listen to some of those just for an example. Just such more creativity with using those types of apps, just for a quick summary, retelling, analyzing a character, doing some math fact practice, jolly phonics. They like to add the little fun things. You can put mustaches and hats and make their mouths move. So it's just another way to increase that engagement. The next one is StopMotion. And Emma up here is going to be showing us StopMotion in a little while. We have a couple of examples. This first one, the boat ride, the assignment was they were studying Reader's Theater about different types of weather. So the assignment was to create a stop motion around the theme of weather. And then this next one was multiplication fact practice. And then this next one, you want to tell a little bit more about what the assignment was here? This was in your classroom.
Like I said, I teach first grade, and last year I had about 16 students in my class. And we did a unit of study on polar bears and penguins in the Arctic region and Antarctica. And then my entire class broke into pairs, and they all chose their own way to represent what they had learned throughout that unit. And Grant here actually created this polar bears video with a student. And know that I had about 45 minutes set aside, and I was the only one in my room. I might have had an associate in my room for part of that time. This was something that Grant and his partner had to do completely on their own. First graders, 6-year-olds are capable of doing this independently. It took some trial and error and some problem solving, but they figured it out and then took a lot of pride in this project. But this was some things that they had learned through that polar bear and penguin unit. So we worked really hard to, do those cross-curricular units, and there was a lot of steps to this process. Not only did they have to draw the background, but they also had to write a script, and they had to write a script based on what they had learned from reading nonfiction text. So it integrated a lot of our first grade Common Core skills, and then allowed them to use an app that I think a lot of people typically think, oh, that's like a 4th, 5th, 6th, and beyond app, and that's not something that's that I can use with my younger students, and they're definitely capable of doing that independently. And then for ebooks, we looked at, I'll back up and I'll piggyback off of Anna's comment. I was definitely brought on this team because I was the naysayer saying, the kids are too little in kindergarten to do these apps. That's great that you're doing these, but mine are too young. They can't do it. And I don't teach 4th grade, sorry. I'm not the tech guru, sorry, I'm not gonna be doing this. But I'll watch yours, I'll be a cheerleader for you. You're doing amazing things. And then I decided, okay, I can't be that person all the time. So I went home, and I have a 5-year-old at home. So last year, as a 4-year-old, I looked at him and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy an iPad, and I'm gonna not tell these two I'm doing this, but I'm gonna get him on this and see what he can do. And then he did it. So I was like, oh man, a 4-year-old can do this, and I didn't teach him because I didn't know how to do it. So I thought, there's no reason I can't be doing this with
5-year-olds in my classroom. So in October, right now, we have done 2 little bird tails in my room. And I do them during guided reading because I still think they need a lot of guidance to navigate through these apps. But I want to show them early in the school year. So I'm showing them now in October. And then next month, they're going to create their own little bird tail. And I'm going to see, can I pull away? Can that guidance, shift more to them and less from me? So that's what I decided to do. That's definitely why I got on this team, because I was the one that said, I don't know, you keep saying that they can do this, and they really can. And I thought it was more powerful when we brought the kids, because in a little bit they will take over and they will show you that they have total control over this. Well, with Little Bird Tales, it is a free app, but you can buy an extended version, I believe, for purchase. Is that true? It used to be like that, or is it all free now?
It used to be $2.99.
Okay. So you might have to have a little pay associated with it if you want to keep using it, but we're not quite sure on that. But it is a storyboard, so you can either create right there on the app with different images, you can draw with your finger, or you can, and you'll see Kayla's here later, she took drawings and took pictures of them. And that's typically what I do in my classroom too. And then you can record your voice. You can have your writing right there in the picture, and then you can read it, or you can have no text at all. A couple of different things that I've done with them. I want to try and get audio clips to parents as many times as possible throughout the year so they hear, this is what they're producing for me. When they read for you at home, you definitely can gauge what they sound like. But when I say things at conferences, I want you to have an audio clip that you can kind of see where I'm coming from. So I'll send these little bird tales home as either readers' theaters, or they're reading their own writing, or maybe we're practicing choral reading. Stuff like that. I'll use it as a running record. I'll have them read right into the iPad when I'm working with the different groups, so then I can go back and listen to them and be like, ooh, let's see. They're substituting I for we, I don't know, every single time. I don't know what we would be substituting, but I can go back and listen to that because they have gone and they have done that on their own while I'm working with the group. So it's been really good for that. We were in the middle of switching schools this summer. So we had very, very limited resources available for us. That's why you'll see the painter's tape on the floor. They wanted the animals to be coming to the water hole. And so they created this little bird tale on their own. There were 2 things that I took away from this summer when we put this together. First of all, I have a ton of lines that I didn't even know I had in my classroom. That was one thing. I don't know how many I needed to have, but I had a ton. And then the second time, they had to really think, okay, I want them to practice their roar. Or I think the first thing they thought about was they're going to be scared of these lions, these animals that are at the watering hole. So then they had to back up and be like, well, why are they scared? What are they doing? How are we going to solve this? And then at the ending, they had to bring it all together. What makes sense at the end to lead this story. And they had maybe 20 minutes to put this together from start to finish. So they had to go through that whole sequence of events. They had to get all story elements addressed in this story. And they did a great job. These were 2 kids that were going into 2nd grade this year. And then with Toontastic, that's another free app. There are add-on costs that you can do if you want to open up different backgrounds and characters. I just have the free one on my app that I have kids use. But this really goes further into story creation, and it talks to you. Within this app, it'll say, okay, you're going to have some characters. Who is your story about? So it kind of defines what the characters need. Then it goes into sequence of events. It leads up to the climax. It explains what that is. Then it says, now you have to think about the solution. Or I don't have the words exactly right, but They say something about now we have to end the story, how is your problem solved? And it leads you right up and it narrates you through that entire story, so you are picking out different parts. You can animate the characters to move on this screen. You can make them bigger, smaller. If you don't like the backgrounds that are there, if you are the cheap teacher that just has the free ones like I do, and there's not a background that addresses it, they can draw a picture and you can snap it and put the characters in front of that. So it's a really neat app that kids can totally navigate on their own with the help of the narration. Carson will actually be doing that after we're done here, making a Toontastic cartoon with you.
One of my favorite parts about this app is that it talks about the story elements prior to kids getting in and creating. So it goes through and it, tells them and talks to them about climax and what does that mean and how will it fit into your story. And I think that's another really powerful tool when kids are creating with that, because they go through that every time before they create their story.
Forces you to think through and organize in your brain prior to creation.
Okay, time to finish this.
And sometimes when we're measuring fluency and everything like that, we all have beef that expression is not addressed in that. If you want to work on expression in your stories, this is a great app to be addressing that with.
Tellagami is another app, free app that actually I think I even learned about it at an Einstein conference one year. And it's one that we brought into the classroom. It's easy to customize. It's quick. It's free, but there are add-ons available. Ideas for using this app in the classroom are book trailers. Again, a group did this as part of their polar bear and penguin unit. Actually, my friend Derek over here did this Antarctica one. And that was one where I am only using the free version of this app. But Derek and his partner, they took a picture of a nonfiction text that they had been doing some research out of and used that as the background just to get more creative with delivering their message in the story. Kayla did this one with Judy B and did a book trailer and talked about the book and encouraged her peers to read the book and kind of did a review of what she thought and then gave a little teaser saying, read and find out what happens if. So what a great way to not only gauge a little bit of understanding of what the students, what they took away from the book, but also to promote reading, or students to promote reading for each other. I think that's really motivating, and plus it was super easy, right Kayla? Super easy for her to do, quick in the moment. She didn't have to prepare a bunch. Potentially they could do that after multiple books that they read.
Something that I've seen in classrooms too is a QR code linked directly to a book. So if a student's wondering whether or not they would enjoy a book, they scan the QR code and their classmates have created these book trailers. So that's just another way that we could use their presentation after the fact.
There's an EDU version that's free. That gives you longer 90 seconds, so there's more if you type in EDU along with Tellagami.
Is that free as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks. iMovie is another one that I've used in my classroom. It is also free. There are a lot of different features. It's easy to customize and it's quick and easy to share. In the top video, that's my friend Jack. And he was in my class last year, and Jack came in on Monday morning really, really excited because he had made 2 books at home over the weekend. He had sat down and he found construction paper at his house, and he was really excited that he found construction paper, and then he had made 2 books. And it was one of those manic Mondays in 1st grade, so I don't know what made our procedures go off the rocker on that Monday, but it happened. And I said, Jack, he really, really wanted to share them with the class. And I said, well, how about you sit here and you turn on the iPad and you read them to the iPad, and then we'll share them with everyone after things get settled here in a little bit. So it was really powerful because Jack was not only able to take his story that he had brought to school and thought, oh, I've already shared this with mom and dad, I'm going to share it with my class, but he was able to share his story with a broader audience and took so much pride in that, because what I did with this iMovie is we dumped it into YouTube, or uploaded it into YouTube, and then I put it on my classroom blog. And when he realized that it was on the classroom blog and saw it on the classroom blog, he thought, oh my gosh, she felt like a celebrity. And that's the way we want to make all kids feel. But he saw that his parents could see it, his friends' parents could see it. He could say, Grandma, look at my classroom blog and see the book that I made. And then his peers could see it. And we could do it in a time that was convenient in our classroom. Down below is a picture of, or a video of my friend Carson and Grant. All of these kids have been in my class at some point in time. But what I did last year very consistently is on Monday, I had my students read our weekly I can statements to the iPad, and then I uploaded them to my classroom blog. So we put them in iMovie, uploaded them to the classroom blog, but they didn't just read the I can statements, they also said, hey, don't forget to bring a sack lunch for iTech tomorrow. Or, we are collecting socks for Socktober. Please bring your socks to school by Friday. But they got to take ownership in kind of our classroom newsletter, or what was going on for the week. So I kind of stopped sending newsletters. Well, I did stop, not kind of stop, I did stop sending newsletters. And I let kids take control of that. Yeah, I guided them on what we were going to be learning for the week, and I guided them on some information that I needed their parents to know. But that was really exciting for them to be able to be the voice, or to share with their parents, or whoever viewed that blog or viewed our YouTube channel, to know what was going on in our classroom and what we were learning about. There's other ideas like fluency practice or trailers, or message and story sharing. So before we get all broken up into different groups here, there was something that Ramsey said this morning that made me really think about these kids and what we're doing and what we're trying to do with these apps. One thing that I know has been repeated this morning is that these kids can do it. They can do it on their own, and it's okay. And they're going to make mistakes along the way, but we're trying to teach kids to fail forward. And what he said this morning is, he said, you need to mix or find your sweet spot between instructions and curiosity. And it's okay to give kids a little bit of a teaser and say, oh, here's this really great Tellagami, this is what Tellagami looks like, and then show them that app on the iPad and not tell them, here, first you push this, then you push that, and then you go here. It's okay to not do that, and it's okay for them to figure it out on their own. I think that's why our kids got so excited about some of these things, is because I think we found that sweet spot between instructions and curiosity. And I think that's really important to know moving forward. Another really important thing that I find when we speak to groups like this is management. And you gotta find a way that works for you. In my classroom, these things would be really hard if I didn't have a management system when it comes to iPads that I was comfortable with. I manage my apps and my iPads by days of the week. So I have a Monday folder, a Tuesday folder, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday folder. Then I have like a creation folder where a lot of these apps fit into that they know they can go into anytime. But I want to allow kids some choice and voice in what they're learning or the skills that they're practicing, but at the same time, I don't want them to get into the same sight word app because they really like that app every single day of the week, because I need them to also practice listen to what fluent reading sounds like and things like that. So I try tried to allow some choice by organizing my apps in a way where students know, oh, today's Monday, I can choose any of these things in the Monday folder, and all of the Monday apps are about sight words, and all of the Tuesday apps are about word building, and all of the Wednesday apps are fluent reading or listen to reading type of apps. So I think you have to find the management tool that works for you throughout this journey as well. I always try and throw that out there because some people, I know that's still a struggle because I only have a limited number of iPads in my room. We're not one-to-one. So that's something to think about. So right now, we'll have kids break up around the room. The way this worked last time is people would just kind of flow to wherever they wanted to go, talk to the kids, ask them questions, make something with them. They are ready, they're excited to do this with you, they're excited to be here with you. Please engage with them. There will be a teacher with each student just because we had that many great Benton staff want to join us today. But they are excited to teach you about the app that they are presenting on this afternoon, this morning. So right now we'll have them kind of spread out. They kind of already picked out their spot, and feel free to mingle amongst them.
Kayla's got little bird tails right here. Grant's over there with ChatterPix. Derek's gonna be, are you going towards the back? Derek's gonna head towards the back with Tellagami. Emma's set up right here with StopMotion, and Carson's gonna be floating in the middle with Tasker.
Before you leave, know that we're presenting on social media tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I don't know what the room number is, but I'm going to throw this plug out there. 316, so right next door. And that's when we're going to talk about how we get all of these, how we share these projects, how we're branding our school, how we're sharing our students' awesomeness with other people.
Your Carson. Yep. So what's your
Is that thinning?
Move the characters around.
Oh, that's a picture.
And then here, go, and then you can talk into it.
Work that out. What's going on in your prairie?
And then you can look at what you
Oh, Cooper.
have.
And of course, Anna, her husband.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, you got it.
Would you teach there?
All right, great.
Are you in the triple court? 11?
All right, so then you'll see the cheering that pops up.
Oh,
It's just, it first has you take the cover photo, and Kayla knows how she can either create it or draw it, or take a picture of it.
Keep going.
But I really was.
Same story, different setting.
To the mail and email to myself. Other times I tweet them, other times, our district has a Facebook page, so we have the.
Thank you.
There.
Good job. What grade are you in?
Instagram, I have a class Instagram account.
So what do you like most about this particular app? What do you like to do with it?
Right.
I like that you can change whatever
And this app actually, we moved the buildings at the end of the year, so the building that I was in closed. And Carson was in like last year, and it was funny because some of the kids really.
Would you rather do that